Are we live? So I just met online, and I'll post that video in a little bit. For some reason, YouTube apparently doesn't like the word pool house. I mean, this is the first time in a long time that they have like held up my video over a title, I think. I can't think of any other reason. But anyway, it'll be posted whenever they figure out that I'm not, trying to show scantily clad women by the pool, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, this is a little project for Jesse and his wife. There's a pool over here, and this is their pool house. So we met this morning, and I worked on this, kind of got it blocked out, and thought it might be interesting to show you how I go from this to framing drawings. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to convert this. I like to put this concrete color that Medique has. I just kind of cheat here. I create a little slab, then I steal, and I keep forgetting to just go ahead and use his slabs. But I've got this trench drain that he put out here that he wanted to show, so I'm just going to do that for now. And then I'm going to go down here and put myself some offset lines. A 1/2 inch, half. I do this because I want my sheeting to be flush with the concrete, and this gives me a guide. And now I'm glad I left this other thing up here because I almost forgot how far back. What is that? 1310. He had a specific dimension for me there. So now I come up here and put myself a 1/2 inch back, and then I can delete this outer one. And then I can get Medique's wall. He just came out with an update, so I'm excited to see. Let's see. I meant to ask them if these were 8-foot walls. I think they are, so we'll leave that alone. I think, and 2x4 walls will be fine. 16 inches on center. We'll just leave all this other stuff alone. He does have, let's see, the wall cladding. I'll have to fix that. Sheeting, yes. Update. OSB, let's see. 16 inches, 2x4, 80. Pressure treated bottom plate, yes. I want that to be. Sometimes it turns out to be some weird color, we'll see. I think it has to do with the style I'm using. Yes, yes, yes. Wall gypsum. Let's say yes to wall gypsum. And offset wall cladding material. I'm going to have to change this wall cladding material, so let's just call it let's see what night gray looks like. And hold down for blocking, trim. Alright, let's just get started on these walls. So I'm going to start right here. You'll see why put that offset here in a second. You can see that, why is there 2 layers of OSB? Well, that's weird. Why does this have to happen in my live streams? Wall sheeting 2. Oh, wall sheeting 2. No. Okay, update. We'll keep going because I'll fix that one in a minute, and then we'll see how this one works out. There we go. That's what I want. That line, and then we'll the space bar and cancel that out, and then what we'll do is we'll go edit this wall. Edit. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't realize. I don't remember them having. That might be part of the update. Wall sheeting 2. That should have fixed that. Let's go see. Yeah, now we just have one layer, and that should have fixed the corners too. Yeah, good. I was explaining to him in the video, in the meeting we had online, about these corners you can buy to slide up around your siding that make it look like the corners are mitered like that. He liked that detail. So let's see. Did I get my beam at the right height? It's a little bit low. So what we'll do is we're going to fix that. What thickness of beam did I use? I think this is going to have to be a little bit thicker. (7'5". I think this probably needs to be. I was originally thinking it was a 6x8. I think that's probably okay. It's only like 14 feet. Yeah, it's less than 14 feet. It should be fine. So I'm going to leave that. But I am going to find myself a pattern or a color. Let's see, wood. Let's go online to see if I can find myself a post and beam color. Post and beam models. This looks pretty cool. I'll steal this color. Oh, that's not cool. That looks like parquet flooring. Anybody got a cool color I can steal? What in the world? Good Lord, what is wrong with you people? That's good enough. These jokers who do this kind of stuff, who they'll upload something to SketchUp, wish they would just quit trolling the warehouse. But we're gonna steal their hatch, and then I'm gonna delete it. Big dummies. See if I got any comments. Hello Richard, how's it going? Going good here. Those folding cookers work well. You know what you should do is you should market those things and sell them. I'll buy one. How much is shipping to the US? Alright, so now we've got our, let's put some windows in here. Now I may have to, I've never tried to gang up windows close together before, like that. Let me see what I can do here. Let's try to put something in the middle of each one. Put us a reference point. And then we'll go to Medique Wall. I like Nathan Wilkerson. He's the one that developed this extension. And let's see, I forgot what size they are. I think I should have checked that first, shouldn't I? I think they're 32 by 4 feet. Yeah, 32 by 4 feet. 32 by 48. Windows. 32. Update. Header is 2 by 10s. Let's see. Yeah, we'll leave it at that for now. And advanced window options. Install window, exterior trim. Let's see, yes, interior casing. Shutters, no. I hate shutters, good God. I hate modern shutters. I love the old fashioned that were real, the old shutters that were real. This is going to be a casement window. Update that. And we will go, this all needs to be 3.5. Oops, 3.5. Header thickness, header extension. I don't like that extension. No extension. Update. Casing style 3.5. This is all probably going to be changed because I'm going to bunch these windows up together and they'll probably look weird. Yeah, I'll have to. As a matter of fact, probably what I should have said was no trim. Let's go do that. Let's go back and say no trim. Exterior trim, no. Interior casing, no. I'll have to put it on manually. No. Update. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. And then what I'll do is I'll put the trim on manually. Okay, that worked pretty good. And then we've got ourselves a door right here. And it was a 3 foot. Let's see if we have any. If I moved to the US, I was thinking of doing them with Eric in his boxes. That's pretty cool. Copper. What's the melting point of copper? It's pretty low, isn't it? I'll bring you one. That's right. Bring me one. What does copper melt at? Was it 800 degrees? I'm guessing. What does it melt at? Wall, door. So we're going to do 36 by 80, 2 by 10s. Header, bottom. And advanced door options, yes. I think on this I'm going to show no. I think I'm going to show a full view, full glass, and then it'll be a right hand in swing. Update. Threshold, yes. What are we looking at here? Door material. I don't know why people want to do this big header thing and these extensions. That's kind of outdated. Door reveal. Alright, let's just see what that looks like. Update. And I forgot to I wonder if I can, how far is that? If I can turn the, from the slab, it's 3 feet. Wish I had measured that before I started. Let me get rid of my guidelines and start with some new ones. 36. Okay, now let's see if it saved my door specs. 36. No, dadgummit, I can do this real quick. Yes. Built up bottom. It was full glass and 3.5. 0. Update. There we go. Let's see. Oopsie. It was a right hand. That's a left hand. So we'll go. Thankfully we have wall tools, edit opening. Forgot to change the hand of the door. Be a right hand in swing. There we go. That's looking good. Looking good. And then there's this pass through here, which I haven't quite figured out. Which is 6'6" by 3'8". Is that right? And it is 4'9" from the outside. (4'9). And we've got one window. I'm just going to make it a window without a, let's see, 36. Is that 44 by, oh wait a minute, it's 78 by 44. Update to 2x10s. Bottom. Update that. Install window, no. Let's see. What if I say yes? I've never tried to picture slider, double slider. Fixed double casement louver. We don't have just a slider might be interesting. A double slider. I wonder what that would look like. Exterior trim. Yes. Interior casing. Yes. Shutters. No. .5, 0, 0, no extensions, and window casing. 5. header extension 0. Yeah, update. There we go. What they want to do is have some kind of it's not exactly what I was thinking. They want to have like a pass-through where what we'll do is we will just see if we can get by with, let's see, not installing the window. All tools, edit opening. Install window. No, let's see what that looks like. That looks fine for now. I'll figure out some kind of shutter. I was afraid it wasn't going to put the jam in there, but it did. That's cool. Oh, it didn't. I'll have to manually fix that. And why is that like that? That's weird. That's odd. Wall tools, edit opening. Why did it put the window casing? I'm just going to say no to this. Yeah, I don't like the way that, I don't know why it made it so much bigger than the opening, but all I have to do now is just manually put some trim for the inside, but that looks fine. I gotta get this height worked out though. Let's see. Should be the same as the door. The header height would be the same. Probably gonna say 82. See what that does. Close. Yeah. What it is on the doors, you make your rough openings 2 inches taller. So if you say the door is 80 inches, it'll make the rough opening 82, which would raise the trim up. So that's what we did there. And that looks pretty good. Now these beams would be put into a pocket into the wall. So we'll extend them to here. Can't see it, but I just extended it in there, and that looks pretty good. What I'm going to have to do on the siding is I'm going to have to replace this siding with some wider siding. Theirs is 10 inches wide, believe it or not. Let's see, we used an air tank, lots of laughs. It cooks food fast. Thanks for sharing your videos. I have to jump off, but we'll catch replay. You helped me learn SketchUp. Oh, thanks, Brett Ferris. Sorry you couldn't hang around a little bit. Yes, I've made cookers from drums. Yeah, I have a couple of videos where I took some small barrels, those and made fire, wood burning stoves and cookers out of them. It's a lot of fun. My welding sucks, but it's fun. That's one thing. It's funny about YouTube online, and online in general. The welding community is really harsh. You can't, we'll just leave it at that. All right, so here is a thing I'm going to do. Let's see. One thing I just realized is this framing should line up. So this, and I'm just going to move all this over and then I'll fix the other one. So I'm going to grab all this. The reason it should line up is because your rafters are going to sit, well, first of all, you're going to frame it this way. When you're framing it, you're not going to let this beam hang out 7/16 just to be flush with your OSB. It's going to be, you're going to put it there. So now what I'm going to do is grab all of this and this, and then I'll just shorten up the cross member. I was getting ready to do my rafters, and I realized I need to fix those beams where they're lined up properly, and then I'll just, now what we would do is I'm just gonna show this. There's several different ways you can do this, but sometimes what we'll do is use some metal connectors, like angle, like paint them black, use some nice headed bolts to connect all this stuff together. Or you can actually get into some joinery if you wanted to and do a half lap notch right there, and then run, I'm not going to get into that kind of detail right now. I'll ask Jesse how he wants to do it, because he's going to build this himself. You can just use metal plate connectors, and it's fine for something like this. There's no real load on this beam. You got your roof load is on these two sides, so I'm not really concerned about that. This is just kind of a decorative cross beam here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put me a little roof. See if I got any more comments. I want to get one of those Coleman camps, but they don't sell them in the UK. You know what, Richard? I've got one I'll give you. I'll have to pick up one in the US next. I've got one. It's almost brand new. I'm going to give you as a present because you're my friend. It's in my garage. Because you gave me some stuff the last time you were here. Right, so and it's hardly even used. Medique truss. Okay, then the cool thing about Medique, I feel kind of spoiled because I used to do all this by hand. I literally used to go here and I would, which I still do sometimes. I would go 12 and I would come up 10. I would come down and make myself a little triangle. Then I would put my bird's mouth there. Then I would back off 7.25 for my rafter. Then I'd start drawing. Watch me just sit here and do the whole thing. I would come up here and start somewhere wild, because I know I'm gonna cut it off later. I was going to delete this and that and that. Oops. Now see, that's where you can get yourself into trouble. And then I think we were going to we're going to do a 16 or a 12 inch overhang on this. 1 foot. It's kind of a small building. I think I'd like to do a 16 though on the main part of it. Yeah. So when you're doing a 16-inch overhang, you would make your rafters hang over yeah, 14 and a half, 14.5. See, like this. And then we come up here to the middle. Oops. We've almost got ourselves a rafter. We do this. We'd come back 3/4 of an inch. I'm kind of demonstrating this because I know people. I don't want people to think I'm too spoiled that I can't draw a rafter anymore just because I have Nathan's. I'm going to draw this rafter and then I'm going to replace it. 1.5. There's my rafter. Okay. We change this to a right face. And then what I would do on this kind of stuff, really, we would want to be able to use this tail needs to be taken down to a 5.5. Let's see. What do I need to do here? What size fascia do we want to use? On this pitch, you got to be careful because I'll show you why. These plumb cuts get really long. So if you're going to have a 3/4 inch by 7.5 inch fascia, I'm just drawing this on there because I'm going to copy it. I'm going to make a group out of this, and then I'm going to move it. Yeah, so you really need to cut these rafter tails down to where they're about maybe 5 inches. I'd probably even go like 4. Yeah, I'd probably go 4. Well, we won't have much of a bird's mouth if we do that, will we? Let's go 4.5. And I know what you're thinking, that's crazy. No, it's not. We do this all the time. The reason we do this is because sometimes you have to have a thicker rafter for insulation requirements, right? If you want a vaulted ceiling, you still have to have a pocket, a rafter pocket up here deep enough to put insulation in. So what we do is we'll make the rafter that size, and then we'll make the, I'm gonna save this fascia board for later. I'm gonna put it right here. But all this is really to demonstrate how I used to do it, right? Because now what I'm gonna do is go back to we're gonna take this. I need to make this a group, don't I? Well, what I would do is I would make this a group, and then I would make it a component. Okay. Then I would copy it. And mirror it. What in the world? -1. What? -1. There we go. Then this comes over like that. Then you move it over 1.5 inches, 1.5, because I already allowed for the ridge. And then I would simply take this. There we go. 16 times what, 20? I was close. You see? This one will go flush with the framing. Right there, and so on. See? Like that. And I may just keep this because I gotta manually what I'm going to do is make myself a group out of this. I'm going to move it 50 feet this way. I just wanted to show you that I'm not lazy. That I can draw it if I need to. But since we are modern draftsmen, see if I have any comments. What is the building for? It's a pool house. For and they saw my video of one I did like 5 or 6 years ago, built for these people, and it was kind of like this, had post and beam, really nice, and roof rafters. Here we go, gable roof. Okay. Now one thing I've never done is put a dormer on one of my deeks. And this is why I was thinking about just doing it manually, because I've never used this extension and put a dormer. The pitch is going to be a 10-12. Overhang. This is one reason why I do like using this extension, because if I put 16 in here as an overhang and then he wants it to be 12, I can easily change it. Ridge board is going to be a 9.25. Your ridge is always one size larger, typically, than your rafters. Bird's mouth cut is, we're going to say it's 3.5. Ceiling joist, yes. I'm going to have ceiling joist in most of it. Okay, part of it's going to be a loft. We'll put them on 16-inch centers just for the fun of it. And gable rafter depth, gable in rafters, roof framing, yes. Yes. And cheating, yes. Overhang 16, that's good. So fascia, rotation, roof cladding, yes. Roof cladding, overhang 1.5, hip and ridge cap, yes. Gutters, let's don't put gutters on right now. Okay, there we go. You see, and it's kind of cool because now I just have to fix this and you can see this is why we cut our rafter tails down. You see, because I want this soffit to be sloping. I don't like those boxed in soffits. They're ugly to me because you get these nasty returns on the end where it's leveled off, and it'll be buttoned up against my post and beam, which I don't like. But what I need to do is I can edit this rafter assembly, and I think this has to do, I almost forgot what this has to do with. It has to do with soffit cut. Is that yes? I guess no. Let's see. I forgot how to make your... Oh, they're calling the rake board. This is one thing. We call that end rafter the barge rafter, not the rake board. I forgot how to tell it to cut the rafter tails. Maybe I won't spend any time on this, but there's a way to tell it to fix this problem with the rafter tails. And I thought it was this Soffit fascia depth. Oh, here we go, 7.25. Let's see if that fixes it. That fixed the end problem. Soffit angle, soffit thickness, wall offset, soffit block, soffit material. Well, I remember running into this before, and rate for depth, Gable, rate sub fascia depth, fascia width, that dropped. See, if you do this box, I'll show you that real quick. It's kind of ugly. I don't like it. You know, plus, you know, it hangs down past your beam. You'd have to have a really wide beam here. That's why I don't like it. That's why I say this is what's Gable mean. Oh, it doesn't. That's weird. And let's just go back to angled. I like that better. This is how I do them, but see, this is why sometimes I do this manually, because I cut my rafter tails down like this. Now see, this is why I made these a component. I can just delete. I can fix one. And I'll probably go back to, I'll probably do all this manually, because it's such a small job. I can just do this because, or I'll have to send Nathan an email. I don't know why this fascia is not. Let me look at one more thing. Got any comments? Oh, the extension is cool, but I like that you did it manually at first. I find the fun in SketchUp doing things manually off. Yeah, I know. And see, sometimes you actually get hung up on these extensions, and they actually cost you time sometimes, because I probably could have just gone ahead and drawn some decking and soffit and just be done with it. But I like Nathan. I like his, he's a really smart guy, Nathan Wilkerson, the guy that developed this extension. and he's more of an engineer than a construction guy. So, so some of this stuff is, it's a little buggy or glitchy, but overall, I've had really good luck, especially when it comes to like trusses. I mean, where this extension pays off is like if you had to look at all these different kinds of trusses he's got in there, you just boom, 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 and you got yourself a bunch of trusses. And he since he does have the engineering background, this webbing, these cords are all accurate. It's an actual truss design. If you go look at the math behind his engineering, so it's amazing. But when you get into this kind of detail, it's where you have to it gets kind of fussy, because we would cut these rafter tails down where this wouldn't happen. And it's somewhere, and I'm going to be mad at myself when I find it. Sometimes I just glaze over this stuff. Gable rafter depth. I don't know why that's like that. Gable rafter width, roof framing, yes. Sub fascia, yes. Drop. Let's see what flush does. Oh, that should be dropped. That drops it because of the pitch of the roof. Yeah, and then you'd have like a shingle mold up here to cover that gap. Rake. Gable rake board width. It's calling rake board depth. Structural outlookers, heel blocking, soffit cut. Oh, here we go. That's supposed to be in inches. So let's say this is 4.5. Let's see what that does. Soffit cut. Let's just make it extreme. That doesn't do anything. Make it 0 back. I thought maybe I had found it. But now this is getting boring, I'm sure, because I'm fooling with this thing. And of course it's always boring, so welcome to my channel. Roof cladding, okay, got it. And then you got this fascia, yes. Thickness, depth, that's right. Soffit, yes. Angled, yes. Soffit thickness. Wall offset. Soffit box extension. Oh, soffit material. You see, I've run into this before. The only thing you can do is make the rafter depth maybe 5.5. See, you could change the rafters to 5.5 and they won't hang down. But see, that's kind of a, and you could probably get by the 2x6s on this. But we'll see. This fascia is not right, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know why. Alright, so that's enough of that. The one thing I was going to check was to see if I could do a if I bring myself an extension. If I could do, I've never done this minor roof thing. Gable dormer. Okay. Click main roof plane. Okay. Click first corner. I'll shoot. Well, it would be somewhere over here. And then it would be Oh, it's back. Okay, so yeah. I mean, I'll have to learn how to do that part of it. I thought it was going to kind of integrate it, and maybe it would have if I had done it properly. I'll have to be trained on that one. But I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and do this manually. And we're going to move this off to the side. Move this over. I'm going to move it over here 100 feet. And I'm going to bring this back 50 feet. I said 50 feet. 50 feet. There we go. See if anybody's got any comments. Wow, let's see. Hey, David Gall. Hello, Adrian. Definitely not boring. Okay, thank you. Well, sometimes I get into deep thought and deep thoughts, and I can imagine it being boring. Let me undo this as a group for a second. Well, no, let me just leave it a group. And then, oh wait, I want to copy this one over here. But yeah, I like and that would be, honestly, I don't know why I'm making these 2x8s, because they don't have to be. If I go to the span tables, I'm pretty sure that rafters, let's see, 2010, rafters 2x6s at 16 inches on center. Yeah, number 2, 13.5. I mean, we only have like a 7-foot span. What is this, 14 feet wide? Yeah, we only have, I mean, I'm probably, so, but thankfully I made this, let's do this. Thankfully I made these components, so that's why you do that. Am I editing? Yeah. If I come down here and go 5.5, and then I just take a line and go from here to here, then I can just, I didn't get it for some reason. Go from there to there. Let's pull one of these off. And delete the guides. Okay, let's try that again. I didn't get my guide line against it, I guess, 5.5. So let's see if I can get it on the edge. You can tell, you can always tell in SketchUp when you haven't done this properly. Now, you see how light that line is compared to the one I was, you see now I can just use the push-pull tool. And since these are all components, were they not components? Yeah, that was weird. I thought it stayed at 2x8. So now I can just delete this one. Okay, so now we're to the right size rafter. We don't want to overkill, and that means this ridge can be a 2x8, 7.25, just right. Code requires that your ridge be at least the height of the plumb cut. And generally speaking, if you, let me make this a group. And then we're going to let this hang out 14.5. 14.5, because we're going to add 1.5 inches to it later. And we're also going to cut it down. I'll show you how we do that. But generally, if you use a size bigger on your ridge, like if you're using 2x6 rafters, if you use a 2x8 ridge, it usually will work out 14.5, unless the pitch is really steep, and then you might have to go up another size. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this 5.5, and this is how we keep our soffit from being, now see how dark that line is? I know I didn't get, for some reason, I'm having a hard time getting, there we go. See how light it is now? I wasn't on the face of the object I was trying to, and see now, I can just take the push-pull tool, and I'm going to leave that line there because I'm going to go down here. Yeah, I can always tell when I've got that because of that, how the line looks. Now what you'll do is put yourself a barge rafter out here. That's what we call them in Artisanville. I'm going to make this unique. I want to make this component unique because it's going to become a what we can do is to make this thing a little more affordable, and since these are smaller rafters, we can make our barge rafter and our soffit out of 2x4s. So I'm going to make this, and I just realized I probably should have made my 3.5. I should have made my see, that'll just be a nice clean look. But the bad news is I'll have to make this a little bit less, but it's no big deal because all I gotta do is go under here, and you want this part to go up to where this meets the center. And if you hang around long enough, you'll find out why. This would be up here somewhere like that. Yeah. So when you put your soffit on the bottom of your barge hanger, your barge rafter, then it can go up and meet the other one coming this way. See? So now we're going to take this, since we have ourselves a barge rafter, and if I can quit scrolling, 90 miles an hour, 180, put it there. Then we're going to take these two and we're going to put it down here to copy that. Where did it go? And one thing I realized is I should have made this 16 inches. I made this stick out 14.5. I should have made it a full 16 because these barge rafters want to butt into it also, like that. So then Gonna go down here and make this one, because we want it to be 16 inches from here. Yeah. Oh, that is. What did I do? That one was 16. How'd that get to be an 1/8? That's odd. 1/8. Bizarro. Alright, so that's our rafters, our main rafters. Where are our comments? I like how you move things off 50 feet or 100 feet. I do that too to get things out. Yeah, plus if you want to copy something back, if you'll use a measurement like that you can remember, if you need to bring something back, you can just copy it back or move it back. For some reason, sometimes when I grab a function, it doesn't always grab the first time. I have to double click it or hesitate a bit before proceeding. You ever have that trouble? Sometimes when I grab a function, what do you mean by grab a function? It doesn't always grab the first time. And one thing I do like to do is I like to make things. I like the way Medique colors his stuff like actual materials. I like that. So I'm gonna take and make all my. And this is the joy of using components. All I gotta do is grab one of these rafters, and they'll all fix. They'll all fix themselves. Grab all those faces like that. Now let's get rid of all of our guidelines. And something happened to one of my rafters down here. Oh, I moved it instead of copying. Or I must have accidentally. There we go. Now, let's see if I can tackle this. Well, first of all, let's put us a 2x4 down here. Let's draw us a 2x4. Let's come out 1.5. 2.5. Go back. This will tell us how wide our rafter cut or rafter width can be. This thing, but we can drop this down. Oops, I meant to do this. We can do this will drop down to where it will hit like that. So that cut I've got is okay. Oh, that's the end. Okay. So that work, yeah. these tails are going to have to be these tails need to bypass that, so we really need to be right here. I don't understand why I'm not getting a, I'll have to do a deeper, I'll have to drop this down. Yeah, I'm gonna have to drop this whole thing down like 2 inches. Oops. Let's see what. Yeah, we'll do it like that. That'll give me a seat cut, but then it'll also allow me to drop this down. To here. There we go, and delete my guidelines. There we go. That's more like it. Yeah, that's how that would be framed. Now, let's see if I got any. Fabulous, Tony, great. Thank you. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. Okay, so David, like if I have a eraser and I grab the orbit, I find I still have the eraser and I accidentally. What is your, probably a hardware problem. Yeah, you can go in and one of the complaints I have with SketchUp, and I found this out when I was doing the animation project for that metal building company, was that SketchUp only uses a single core of your GPU. I was fascinated. I was actually flabbergasted, not fascinated. I went out and got this laptop I'm using right now has a RTX, what is it, the 2080? It's a pretty high-end graphics processor, right? And I went to, and while I was animating, it was taking me, 30 minutes to do a 5-second animation. And I went to look at my resources, and it was only using like 20% of the GPU power I had. And I was like, what in the world? Then I researched it and found out that SketchUp will not actually use the full amount of resources that you have. That's a little frustrating, but I still, obviously still love SketchUp. But now, as far as, let's do our ceiling joist right quick. These will be easy. We're going to have a loft on this part. And what I might do is coordinate my ceiling joist, because you really want your ceiling joist to be, let's put them in this group with the roof. You want your ceiling joist to come out to here, go up to there, go over to which one was I on? That one. Yeah. Go to there, go to there, and then you'll have 7 1/4, 7.25. You go up, you cut that, put that cut on them like that so they don't stick out. And then I'm gonna make a group, make it 1.5 inches, 0.5. And then we'll make this a component and we'll color it. And then what am I going to have, like 10 of these? 16 times 10. See if that's enough. Yeah, not bad. This one would actually go away and we'd frame our wall up. And then we would have one right here so that the flooring on the loft would have something to sit on like that. That gets our framing for, and then we'd have one thing, you know what's kind of cool? I think I will try to use Medic's extension for these streaming vent. I was just checking back to see if David had any more comments about his. You can do, I don't know if you've checked like hardware acceleration in your preferences, that kind of stuff. OpenGL, you know, you can go in and mess around with some of these settings in here, and you can also go to your your 3D, what is it, your NVIDIA. If you're using NVIDIA, you can go to the control panel. I clicked on, okay, and you can go manage you see right here, you can go into program settings and you can click on SketchUp. Where is SketchUp? Okay, I was going to show you this real quick, but now, is it? Oh, here, Trimble. And then right here, you can see high performance, you know, NVIDIA processor. You can set it on like default or auto select. You know, you can play with those settings too in the 3D settings of your, like if you've got an NVIDIA. I personally think the NVIDIA graphics processors are the best, but you might want to look at your graphics settings in SketchUp, because that's probably like a hardware acceleration thing if you're grabbing tools and they're not grabbing right away, because I honestly haven't really experienced that. I've only had trouble with when I was trying to do animation work. Let's see, I've got some videos on that showing how it was the Metal Pro Building project. This one, atdrafting.com. This one right here, where this is Metal Pro Buildings. They're in Canada, and I did this animation for their marketing department on putting this building together. I did the animation in SketchUp, and then their marketing department put they did their magic. They put all the text Talk louder. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I forgot that I had the, when I click on a video, it plays the desktop audio. Sorry about that. Okay, so this would, now the way you frame these, these gable ends so that this barge rafter has some support is you'll come and you'll probably divide this up into about thirds. What's that? 10 feet. So probably come down, we'll just come down 3 feet for now, and then we can fix it. But what you do is you notch yourself in a 2x4. Let's just draw ourselves a 2x4 on here, and then we'll twist it 3.5 by 1.5. Make ourselves a group. Then we'll put it right here. Then we'll twist her around where she's like that. Then we'll edit it and bring it out to here. So what you do is you'd butt it here, and then you would notch this one, and you can get by with notching this rafter because it's a house line rafter. I'll show you in a second why you can get by with notching it, but you face nail it. You face nail it through here, and you face nail it through here, and then it's really strong. And we call those barge hangers. And I'm not going to notch out this rafter. I'm just going to show it like that. And then you would put at least maybe, you know, let's see, I need to put that in that group, don't I? So I'm going to cut it. I'm going to put it inside this group and paste it back in place. So then you might have one there, and then, you know, here somewhere, and you know, it's literally how we would do this is just kind of space them out evenly, divided by 2, yeah, like that, and I can delete the one I copied up there, like that. So the reason you can do that is because this extension that we went through the trouble of adding up here on our ridge board is supporting the top of it, and then your subfascia cantilevering out here is supporting the end of this. So we don't need, okay, so that works. I thought I had put a bird's mouth in my barge rafter, but that's just where it's hitting my timber that I got sticking out on the back. I don't have the timbers, so there's no need for a bird's mouth in the barge rafter. So then we would just copy these down here. And we'll copy it from here. And we'll have to adjust it a little bit. Where's my axis? There it is. And since this is the other end, we'll just have to edit these right quick and cut them off a little bit. Oh, you know what? There is kind of a cool extension that part of this extension that Nathan has created in he's got these trim tools, which are awesome. You pick the face you want to trim to, and then you pick the item. You see, isn't that cool? I think that's awesome. That saves you some time. So, you know, the extensions you have to kind of balance, you know, what you use them for, because they can save you a lot of time and they can cost you a lot of time. On average, they will save you time. I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna mirror this. Got lucky. -1. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to lock my axis. And I'm going to come over here and put it right there where it meets. So that wasn't too bad. That makes your barge hangers, your overhangs really strong. If you just kind of leave them hanging out there by themselves, then even if you put blocking, which this is not really related to the soffit blocking. You see, what you'll do now is on your soffit blocking, you'll run a 2x2 down the side of this rafter. Let's delete our guides. Those things drive me nuts. Any comments? Talk louder. Okay. We'll try not to play any. I'm not still playing any videos, am I? Oh, good. Okay. So that gets us that. Now, here's the thing. I kind of don't want to do any. The code actually requires collar ties if you're doing typical framing, which would be, a member that comes across here horizontally and ties, and they go on the side of your rafters. I'm gonna see maybe if you make your ridge a beam, like your ridge is not a structural piece. It just helps you connect your rafters together, right? But you can turn your ridge into a beam if you use like an LVL here, so that, and then it's supported on each end, and then, maybe right here in the middle. That way I can probably talk the building inspector out of, I've done this before. If you have a ridge beam and not a ridge board, you can eliminate the collar ties, because then your rafters are more like hanging from the ridge, and they're not, there's not this outward push, because right now the rafters are wanting to push the walls out. But since we have these ceiling joists tied to them, that counteracts that force of them pushing the walls out. But one thing I was going to try right here, right quick, is I think I've got Gable Walls. He's got Gable Walls, yeah. And so we can choose Gable Wall, and the height would be, this would be wall pitch 10. And we put this on 0. And I think I can draw a wall then from here. Now this is where it would save you time, because if I had to go and put all these studs in at all these little different angles, that would take some time. Oh, the pitch didn't work. Let me fix the... Oh, I know what I did wrong. This is supposed to be... Oh, he's got a pitch for both sides. Okay. Update that. There we go. Now see... Isn't that cool? Let's turn off the wall. The wall casing. I want to turn off the cladding. Where's my wall cladding? Oh, it's in. Okay, I see what's going on here. The new version of SketchUp has these folders you can create, which is really cool, because then you can just, let's see, let's put door and wall, floor and floor, Foundation concrete. I don't need that one. Well, anyway, we'll put this in foundation. Let me pick all these out. Foundation. Ties goes on the roof. Wall casing. Anyway, it allows you to, you see, now you can neatly kind of, I don't think I need this layer, delete tag. Well, there's something in there. I'll worry about that later. Delete tag. And then I can go to wall and turn off wall cladding and wall sheeting. And you'll see the studs aren't lining up, but I can fix that. You see, but that's kind of, if I had to go in and make each of these, I don't need a double top plate either. We don't do double top plates when we're doing these gable walls. So what we'll do is go in here and top plate quantity 1. That's cool. See, you would just nail your top plate up to the bottom of that rafter, and it's not a 2x6 either. Good Lord. Edit. Why is it 3.5? Thought that looked weird. And then there's an offset. Let's figure out what our offset would be. Let's see if we can make it minus 4 11/16. See if that'll work. Oh, wrong way. Let's take the minus sign out. That was close. Why is it not? We're zooming in on it. Where'd it go? Here we go. Right, that's close enough. You just want your studs to be stacked, because if you have plumbing or electrical or anything like that, when you start drilling holes through here, you just want all your framing to line up like that. Let's see if we have any questions or comments. That is cool. Thank you. Thanks, David. Yeah, now see, that saved me some time. I had to fuss with it a little bit, but now when I go down here and I put one in, is that lined up? I should have, this rafter should be sitting back. This one and this one should be sitting back a 1/2 inch or 7/16 if you want to get technical. 7/16 for the OSB. Yeah. Because I don't want my OSB hanging over the beam. I want my siding just lapping over the beam a little bit. So now if I go back and I go to wall, gable wall, do this. Did it keep my, it kept one of them, 10. And let's change it to 2x4. I'm not gonna let you fool me again. And then we're gonna do one top plate. Update. And on this one, I'm not really concerned about where the studs are gonna be. So we'll go from there to here. All right. Awesome. And one thing I realized is I have the loft over the wrong spot. The loft goes down here. Like that. And it's open. Did I copy that? Oopsie. I meant to just move it, not copy it. Because this part is open. You can see the loft is over the open part below, like that. So that would be like that, and then you would get one joist over against this, over against your wall. Oops, did I miss it? So that when you put your subfloor down, it'll have something to sit on. And then you would have one right here too. To end. Oops. How do I keep missing? There we go. To end the loft. Okay, now we're getting someplace. Now we can put a window. See, this is what's cool about using that extension for, is that the center? 6'11.5". Yeah. We can use our extension now for putting this window in here, which is, I forgot what size it is. Is it 2030? 32. I think 32 is a little bit wide. I think I'm going to make it 2.6. Window 30 by 36. Update, and then we're going to, the header, oopsie, the header height is going to be, maybe that'll fix itself. Let's make it 48 for now. I don't know how that's going to work on this little, I guess it's going to work like that. Then let's put, yes, window, exterior trim, interior casing, no, shutters, no, and we'll use a casement. It'll actually be a fixed, well, let's do a casement. Better do a fixed. It looks the same, honestly. And let's do 3.5. No sill extension. Let's update that, and then we'll see if our we're a little close to our soffit. That's why I wanted to change the width, because let's turn our siding back on just to see. Yeah, see, we're kind of tight on our soffit. So what we'll do is we'll edit this window down It needs to, it's taking up too much room in there anyway. So we'll go to Wall Tools, Edit Opening, and we'll make it, let's make it 24, not 36. There we go. And is it too tall for the floor? Nope, it's fine. Because 24 by 36 would be a standard size, and now we're not in our soffit. There. Close. Okay, so now I'm looking at our header height. Okay, so I'll have to, this is what I was looking at on the header. This is the only thing that's weird. We're going to have, we'll probably have to manually fix this header. For now, I'm just going to make it, I'm just going to make it 2 2x4s for now. See if that'll fix it. Yeah, honestly, there's really no load. There's no loads on that window, so that'll work fine. And then we'll do the same thing back here. We gotta go, let's go to the center. This will be 7 feet. Yeah, 7 feet. And hopefully my settings, I'll have to change a little bit here. 30, 36. Header 48. Update. Window exterior trim. Shutters. Fixed. 0. And we want to be in the center. What did we do here? Did we not update? That looks weird. Why did that not? Didn't look like the size updated properly. Oh, I made it 24. That's right. Yeah. There we go. And we gotta delete our guides. Yeah, I know what this was gray. This doesn't matter because I'm going to I'm going to manually put the siding on anyway because it's going to be wider than this. And if I have a request for Nathan, it is to make it so that we can make the siding wider. We are getting there. We're getting there. We are getting there. The hard part's going to be, or the laborious part's going to be putting this dormer in. I may if I got enough votes I may do it right now. But see, this is what I was talking about on this ridge. I really don't want to go in here. I'll just show you the code usually will require a collar tie. I'm just going to guess here how long this is. I'm going to guess it starts right about here, and I got close. Okay, so and I'm just going to draw a weird one or a on a weird one, but just a rough one, because I'm gonna try to do without them. Since code would require that, okay, that collar tie on every third, at least every 4 feet, okay. But you see what it does is it cuts down on my this head height in here, and I really don't want. It also makes this would look a lot better if I could keep a vault all the way up, and since this is just a little pool house, I can insulate this rafter pocket here with like an R30, I think I can get in there, and there's not going to be any kind of energy code requirement for this pool house. So I can effectively have a true vaulted ceiling in here if I can do away with these collar ties. And the way you can do that is, and I've worked with building inspectors on this before, if you'll use an LVL right here, if you'll turn this into a, let's see, what can we, do we have a hatch that we can use? A pochette. How many of you know what a pochette is in architecture? Let's see, materials. We'll just use this. You see, if we turn this into an LVL, now it's a structural piece. It's like it's a roof beam instead of a ridge board. Okay, and I think I can eliminate my collar ties by doing that. That's what we're gonna shoot for anyway. Comments? No comments. What's wrong with you people? Are you bored? And then what we would have under here is just some tongue and groove. I'm trying to talk myself into tackling this dormer. I may need to get peanut butter and banana to get some energy, but how tall did I make this wall? I turn off the roof. I made it from this wall. Did I make that 8'1" 1/8? Did I make that the right height? Yeah. So if I went from this wall to the top of this wall, it would be 4'5". And let's just call it 4'5.5", because I want to make sure it's a little bit lower than the ridge. So let's put ourselves a line. Let's see. Just so I'll remember, I'm just gonna draw myself a line in the air. 4'5.5". That was not in the air. There. That's just to remind me. And then the width. (9'10". So really I want to make it 9'9", because that's representing the sheeting. So 9'9" would be right there. And then let's grab ourselves a (11.5). Okay, so 9'9" would be 4'6", and 4'10.5", 4'10.5". Is that right? Guess we're gonna find out. 9'9". Yeah, 4'10.5". Cool. Got lucky. So now what I need to do is build myself a little wall. Really what I wanted to do, this may be where I need to convert over to manual everything, because what I was going to do is turn off the cladding, turn off the sheeting, and I was going to turn off the chipboard. I was going to extend these walls up. This part of the wall was going to extend up. Well, that's going to take some time. I may do that in part 2. Sorry, my rafters are steel. Well, why would you use steel rafters? Do you find that you lose track of time when doing SketchUp? Yes, I do. Until I start getting into the tedious stuff, and then I'm like, oh, I know what time it is. It's time to take a break. But this probably gonna have to. What I need to do is put this roof. I need to manage my layers here a bit. This needs to go into roof framing. Roof frame. Turn that off. And then this, let's put this in the roof framing too for now. That's weird. Oh, there we go. And put this in the roof framing. And this will get rid of because it may be time to explode. Maybe time to explode this wall right here. I hate doing that because I lose, I can't edit it anymore. But it's going to have to be edited anyway because I want this. So goodbye extension. Let's see, now we're going to have to explode this. Because what I want is my header. I want this header to go away. This to go away. Let's see, I want this header to go all the way across. To here. But it was a good wall while it lasted. And then I want to get rid of these. That just all starts to get cleaner. That, and then I don't need, looks like I'm doubled up on my studs here. Oh, I'm not going to worry about that right now. What I'm going to do is think about how I want this wall. So I know I got to have that there, and then I'm going to have a space I'm gonna make this stud. Oh, he doesn't have his studs as components. That's kind of good in a way. Kind of bad in a way, not, and kind of good in a way. 1.5. When I do my walls manually, I make my studs components because I've had customers in the past. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do that. I've had customers change the wall heights from, like, say 8-foot walls. And here's why I drew this line, because now I'm going to pull this up to there, and then I'm going to take it down 3 inches for my top plates. And that's going to be my wall height. But anyway, I've had customers change, things on me. And it was easy to go in and change the studs all to 1.5. It's going to be my corner. And let me steal some blocks. Let's see, do I have any blocks anywhere? Yeah. Make these blocks a little longer. Something like that. You'd use scrap blocks to make these corners with. And you'd have, one down there. And then, oops. You just put them like that. Really, this wall is kind of tall, but I'm not going to worry about it. Since it's just this section here, I'm not going to worry about it being, normally a wall this tall I would make it a 2x6 studs. It's such a small section. I'm not going to worry about it too much. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is, I wonder if you choose, well, I'm going to cut these plates out. Quicker in real life to cut them. But see, now I can use that trim tool to grab the back of this where was it? It was under trusses, tool trim. I can grab the back of this 2x4 and then I can, oops, that didn't work. Why did that do that? Oh, I know why. Because it's all one group. Got to do it the hard way now. I guess it's not like digging ditches. Now I can draw me a 2x4 plate up here. Wrong pole shape. And this one will be up here, but it'll be back 3.5. So that the other wall can tie into it. My little other walls that are going to go back and sit. Get rid of some of these guidelines. They drive me nuts. And then that is getting there. If we turn our rafters back on, you can see these rafters, this rafter here will go well, I'm not going to worry about cutting those rafters out yet. Somehow I feel like I've got the wall too high. Let's turn the roof back off and let's draw. Well, I don't know. It seems like that this roof is taller. And it's probably because this one's not a real roof. But this one over here that's framed is. What in the world? How did we get so much higher? This is a 10-12 pitch. Yep. Well, this is the difference between real life stuff and did I make this wall a 9-foot wall? Nope. Is this a 10-12? 12. 12, 10. Somehow that pitch got steeper. 10 and 11/16. I don't know how I managed that. That's weird. So this wall's going to have to be a little shorter. Yeah, that won't work. This is going to have to be get my axis locked here. About a foot lower. Trying to figure out how I work that out. See if I have questions. Don't forget we live in tornado country. Let's see. Cheaper than wood now. Or as cheap as wood. Wood is ridiculous. Yeah. A sheet of plywood would cost $32 last I checked. Foundation steel. Well, you still gotta have plywood. You still gotta have OSB to attach your shingles to. Foundation steel at the same height. Are you trying to say that my slab is not the same? Is that what you're trying to say? No, I think what it is when I did this roof, somehow I got it a little steeper. You can see when I measured the angle, it was a 10 and 11/16, and I don't know how I got that. See, 10 and 11/16, 12. And it is sitting oh man, that's how I made the mistake. That is how you make the mistake right there. Part of the mistake is this roof is not going to be sitting on the corner of that beam or that wall. It's going to be, you got to have a bird's mouth. So it would be, down here somewhere. And that's what we have over here, see? We have our bird's mouth, and then we have our rafter tails cut down for the soffit. So this is the difference between, when you start detailing your framing, this is what happens. You get into real life, and that's why everything should be drawn the way it should actually be built, because, Jesse is expecting me to show him how this is framed, and now I've got to worry about how to get these, what size are these windows? They're 3 feet wide, or they're 32 inches by 32. Okay, so let's just say if I take this down a foot, well, that didn't work, did it? I should have made that corner a component, see? Then I wouldn't have had to, just take a few seconds to get it all done. There we go. Now I'm going to have to draw myself some decking on here because I need to know where my wall, my other wall is going to be stopping. So I'm just going to draw some, let's see, why is that not giving me, I normally leave like an air gap up here, so I'm just going to bring it to right here. Go over to here. Come down to for now I'm just going to come down to here. My fascia board needs to be dropped down on this side. And we'll go up to here, and then we'll make it, let's make it a group first. And we'll make it 7/16 thick, and that's my decking. I'm gonna fix this sub-fascia board right here would be right here, and then this, oops, wrong thing. This sheeting would come down to right just barely, so it doesn't hang over. You don't want it hanging over that point because your shingles will continue that. That'll be like that. But this will give me, and you want a little air gap up here, probably even a little more than that. Because we'll have a vented ridge like that. About 1.5 inches on each side, about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. Okay, but now the point, you know what I could do? I could build myself a little, let's just do it this way. Let's just do it the hard way, the old-fashioned way. Couldn't tell, but I cut that off. Yeah. You're like, yeah, I could tell. Then I can copy this one. Let's see. It will be cut back to there. Then we'll have ourselves a bottom plate. Oops. I have to move that. Can I grab it if it's right there? Let me move this up here at first, and then I'll move it back. That wasn't right. Like that. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, the metal, I mean, you're talking about metal stud rafters. Use tin. You get better insurance using tin. Cheaper insurance. Some places you do. Depends on what kind of metal roof you use. You still got to have purlins. You can't just, you don't just screw your metal roof down. To your rafters, so it can snowball on you. I've done it. In 40 years, I've done a lot of that stuff, man. I started in 1978. I've built a bunch of stuff. And you come around, at some point in your life, you come around and say, let's steal one of these little studs right here. I had a guy who was a union carpenter, and he was out of work, and he came to work for me. 15.25, and he wanted to do all that weird stuff. Use metal bar joist and, you know. And it was funny. He was building his own house, and he wanted me to help him. So I took the crew out, and we went over, and the bar joists that he had were undersized. He had like a 26-foot span. It might have been 28. And these bar joists were only like 16 inches deep. And I just knew. I was like, no way. And I said, your floor is going to be bouncy. He's like, oh boy. He was older than me. He's like, oh boy. He's like me. I've been doing this for... And sure enough, we got the subfloor on. You could walk out, and it was like a trampoline. He ended up having to put another beam in the basement to keep it from being so bouncy. It was actually kind of funny. He even said later on, he was like, well, I guess you were right. I was like, yeah. Those metal, metal doesn't always perform better than wood, especially like in fires. Your metal studs and rafters will melt and fail before wood will. Don't want to burst your bubble or nothing. Let's see. This would be down here. But yeah, there's an appropriate use for everything at some point in time. Now we can copy this. This. And the cost of stuff is just the cost of stuff, It is what it is at that point in time. That's poetic, isn't it? Yeah, it's all steel. They have screws for the metal. Yeah, I know, but you don't screw, when you're using metal rafters, you still have to have purlins that you run across your rafters, and then the metal roof screws to the purlins. You don't nail the roof straight to the rafters. So you still got a step in there. You got to count, So that's that. So then what will happen is this decking will get cut out. Right. You'll have a should have erased itself. There we go. And this will go down to where that edge meets that edge. Like that. Why did that not? Oh. Yeah, that's fine. And then this will go up. I should have copied my decking over before I did that. Let's get ourselves some. Let's turn on the sheeting, and we'll steal our OSB. Select here. Do that, and then we'll copy this. There it is. -1. Then we'll put this over here. Try to access that. There we go. And we'll fix this hole. which it should mend itself if I do this. Yeah. And you can see now we got a nice little air gap on each side of our ridge that when we put our ridge vent on, we'll have a little air gap there. That is fine looking framing on that dormer. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to show him how to do this. Now I gotta, what pitch did I put on this? I probably, hope I'm not gonna have to make this, I think I put a 5. Yeah, I have a feeling, I think what I'm gonna do is use the extension right quick to see if I've made this too tall. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to run it back here somewhere. What am I doing? Like this. Then I'm going to put the roof pitches 5, and I'm not going to worry about anything else. Well, let's see. I need to worry about the rafter depth would be, yeah, that's right, 5.5. I don't need a ridge that big. I ain't going to worry about all that. I'm actually going to turn the roof advanced off. There we go. So it will work. Cool. As a matter of fact, I'm going to steal that. As a matter of fact, what I should have done, let me get rid of this now. Oh, dang it, I should have moved this. Let's see, is that a group? That's not exactly right, but I'm going to be done with that soon. So what I'm going to do is this 16 inches on center? Yeah. Yeah. So what I can do is I can cheat this. I can delete all this. Now see, this is where the extension saved me a little time, because now I can just I'm going to actually explode this roof. Let's see. Wait a minute. Where's my decking? Let's turn this on for a second and turn on roof sheeting. There we go. Now I'm going to explode it. And so now, see, I can just go in here and take me a line and put it right here. Can I get rid of that? Atta baby. Now I'm cooking with gas. I'm not editing that, am I? It might be good if I was actually editing it. Yeah. Gotta get right on that corner. You got to make sure you see the little cross, the little X, to make sure you're actually on the plane, the face. And baby, that saved me some time right there. Now I can get rid of all this stuff. And I think I can use the trim tool. I can make this. I can go into trim, truss, let's see, truss, tools, trim, pick this face right here. And I can get rid of all this stuff. Oh yeah, baby. That is, now see, that's the coolest part. I would have bought this extension just for that one tool. This trim, what he did was he set it up so that you can pick a face of another group and then trim a bunch of objects back to it. Now before I start deleting a bunch of stuff, let me turn off this sheeting. Oh, I got this. I got to put this in sheeting too, so it will turn off. Roof sheathing. Now I want to be careful about deleting stuff here. I've done this. I've cried before. I've deleted stuff accidentally, and I've gone so far that I couldn't undo it. So now I'm more careful about deleting stuff. And so that is awesome. Look, that even cut that soffit back to the decking. Awesomeness. And now I can turn the roof sheeting back on. And I need to put this roof sheeting in a temporary layer. Let's put it in something I can turn off here. Foundation concrete. There we go. Because what I'm going to do is leave this decking on. Because now what I'm going to do is cut this rafter back to this face of this group. Truss, tools, pick that face and then go in here. Oh, that worked. Didn't. Now why did he make those components? Dang it. So that means I gotta make, that's weird. Sometimes he makes stuff components and sometimes he doesn't. Make unique, make unique, make unique. Now let's try. Awesome. So just those. Oh yeah. These, that one, and that one. Awesomeness. That was awesome. Yeah. Now it's where it gets a little fussy because fussy. Okay, so what happens now is I turn off this the roof sheeting, and this thing, let me get out of the middle of the So I don't need this anymore. I've already gone past the point of no return on that. This becomes, now you pay attention, you're going to learn some big time stuff here. This, this piece, what happens is, this rafter right here goes right here. It goes, and you got to be careful when you're framing this to get all this lined up, okay? Then you double that one. Wow, that's not right. Why is that doing that? Let's go up here and we'll double it. Like that. Then you go over here on this side, make sure this one, let's see if we just, it's going to be a little wider, but we're going to fix it. Oh, just by barely. Oops. So what you do is you make this, get that axis locked, then I can, what is that? Oh, it is lined up. Okay. So when you're framing this roof opening, these two doubles here are going to be the same width as the inside wall dimension. Okay. Now what you do is you build yourself a header. This piece now becomes a thicker, let's get out of that mode, get into this mode. This becomes like an LVL now. This goes, let's get down here where I can see. This isn't a component, is it? Oh, what about that? He made the, why would you make these? Make this unique. Okay, caught myself that time. Okay, so this is going to be right there. Oh, I'm not on the face. Why is that? See how dark that line is? Oh, I wasn't editing. There we go. I can always tell when I don't get on the face. There we go. I want that to go back to there. There we go. And then it's going to go. You're going to bring it down. It's going to be. This is where your custom. It has to be as wide as 11 7/8 LVL. What you'll have to do, and you can rip down LVLs 10 5/8. You can probably take an 11 7/8 and just let it stick up and then notch it off. But what you do is you bring it down to where it's right at that point. Because your drywall has to continue. See? And now what you do is you cut these off. Let's fix this then. This end, and I've actually used, if you want this to be really strong, you'll take these doubles right here and make them LVLs. And yes, you can rip LVLs. I've had people argue with me about this before. You can rip LVLs. They're that good. I see I'm not on the face again. Now I am. See how that line's darker and that one's lighter? You can always tell when you're on the face. You got to be on that face to be able to do that right there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and show this as 11 7/8, 11 7/8 LVL, and then you'll just, these have to be, you know, oops. You'll have to just continue that little slice there on each end. Got out of my comfort zone there. This is all going to make sense. If you stick with this, you're going to see how this very intricately, this framing gets intricate. Intricate. Most carpenters don't know how to use that word. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, and this would be double across here. Okay, so it would be double this way. Which means this rafter would have to sit back. And all this, you see, this is why you plan all this out, because you're not thinking properly. When you're doing this in the field, sometimes you say, "Oh man, I meant to double that." Well, you might not have, okay? Because this is a beam now. This is a beam carrying all this roof load and whatever load this dormer's putting on it. So now we got ourselves 2 LVLs here. Boom. I thought I was going to be able to change that. There we go. So that's an LVL now. Now this is the cool part of this. If I can get to where I can see all these, I can cut these rafters back using my trim tool. Oh, come on now. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Oh, you know what? I've got my rafters as components. So I can make, yeah, here's a neat trick too in SketchUp. Pick all these rafters. Let's see, I don't want to explode that group. Pick all the rafters that you want to become new and unique to that definition, and you can make them all unique together. So now if I go in here and I edit this one, all the ones that I chose, go away. See, isn't that cool? And that's what will happen. And you'll put joist, you'll put rafter, you know, like joist hangers, rafter ties on here. But see, as your drywall comes down, you see it'll stop, and then let's see how our ceiling's working out. You can either make this work out. Let's go out of edit mode here. Get a good look at this. Let's turn our sheeting back on. And I see your roof decking will be cut out, you know, back up to here. Back up to here. Up to the back. Yeah, up to the back of that. Okay. And then, what do we got here? We got our little, this will have, trying to figure out how I want to do this, because see, this is where it gets a little funky, and this is why you have to plan this all out. Because let me turn the windows off. Good Lord, don't need the windows on, and I don't need the trim on. You gotta decide how you want your ceiling to look in here, right? We don't want this. We probably don't want this transition where the drywall comes down and, you know, wraps around and goes back up. That's what you'd have. You'd have another. You'd have another joist right against this, like that, and see. You can see where it would get a little funky. You might even, I've even actually done this before, where I've furred this ceiling down where this was just flat, where there was a nice smooth transition. This comes down and then goes flat over. So that's a decision we'll have to make, like that. Let's put our decking back into the proper layer. Roof sheeting. What happened? Okay, so what happened to my... Oh, I put it in the wrong layer. That would be... Yeah, it's supposed to be roof sheeting. There we go. Now, too many layers. Right, so that's how that would be framed. Now we got our wall framing here to finish. The reason I was trying to get this part done is because I didn't want this ridge coming up above that one. And you're really better off if this one's down a little bit like this, because what you want is the ridge cap of this one. Do I have roof shingles on both of them? No. Oh well, no big deal. You want to put these shingles on, you know, then you want to put this ridge cap on, and then you want to put this ridge cap on so that it kind of overlaps this ridge cap. If these are exactly the same height, then you got a little competition going on between the two. It's better if your dormers are just a tad bit lower, like that. It works out. And in the end, you can't tell. In the end, it'll look, from the ground, it'll look the same. It'll look like they're the same. And then if we took our little, let's turn our soffit off for a second. If we built us another little gable wall here, roof rafters, gable, let's see, wait a minute. That's the wrong thing. Roof, oh, I want wall, that's what it is, gable wall. I want this, and I want this to be 5, 5. So I'll build me a little wall going from there. I think I forgot to make the plates. Let's turn the wall sheeting off for a second. Did I make, okay, you know, I just have one plate up there. That's right. There we go. We got our little gable wall. now we can decide how big our windows are going to be. And I'm wishing I had well, let's draw us a line across here. We don't want our window trim. So we don't want our window trim to come right down to the roof. We want to have about 6 inches. I'm going to say at least 4, a minimum of 4 inches. So you can do your flashing, have it come up on the sheeting and then under this row of shingles right here, and then you can have the next row of shingles cover that up, and then the siding cover up that. You don't want your window coming right down on the decking. So let's see if we can get a let's see if we just go 32 here, how close to the top. We can't get 32 in there, can we? So, that's a bummer. Well, okay. So over here, let's see. If I'm really not that far. I'm over here. So I could probably cheat. If I just make that line my the top of my window, and I go down 30 inches. Let's do that. Then we'll make our if we got any questions. No questions. So what I have done before, I've kind of rigged these gable end walls where I don't want to do too much rigging here. What can I do? I don't want to make this too complicated for him. But stuck in the wall. I just bring that's not a component, is it? Oh, good. Bring that up to there. I mean, there's a way to do this, but let's see what I can get by with here. If I make this, what I don't like is how I'm going to do this. I don't like how I'm going to do this. What I may do is spend some time there's kind of another option here to get these windows back to where I want them, where what you do is you take out, you cut these, you don't let the roof, and I would have to, the reason I'm hesitating is because I'd have to get this, approved by the owner. But what you do is you cut this part. I'm not on there. I'm not on the roof. You cut. Why is that doing that? You cut this part of the roof out, and that gives you more leeway on the height. Like you can lower these windows down and get the right look. It'll just be a matter of whether they want to do that or not. So that would be something I'd have to get with them about. What I may do is have another meeting. This has been a long live stream anyway. I may stop it here and see if they want to do this. If they would do this, and what you can do is you can make it look kind of interesting. I mean, it's a little more work, but you can put a return. You can make these come in a little bit. You can even bring it over, whatever. You can make it look like it wraps around a little bit. But in that case, these windows would all be trimmed out together, or separately, but it would make them look more as a unit, and you can actually make these windows bigger, or you can bring them down, wherever you want them to be, and that way I could get my header. I need to be able to get my header above this. I need to get my header up here in the framing so it's not hokey, where I'm having to cut these plates out, and it would almost be like a renovation where you're just kind of cutting these plates out and forcing a header in there. Even cutting this little gable wall out. You're not literally cutting it out. You would just build it that way, where the header's kind of half up above the wall and half, it's just kind of rigging it, and it goes, beyond the sort of framing etiquette, and I don't want to do that. So I want to keep it kind of standard, so that when I say this wall is that tall, it's actually that tall. What you want to be able to do is build your walls laying on the floor and stand them up, and they're done. You don't want to have to get up here with a sawzall and start hacking away at it to get a header in there. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. And it's easy to draw it that way, but in practice, it's hard. It's harder in real life. So I'll stop it here. Anybody have any comments? Oh, thank you, David. Appreciate it. I'm going to stop it here, and I'll come back. Lord, how long have I been going? And I'll do an update on this project later on. Thank y'all for watching and commenting. It's fun. It makes it a lot more fun for me to have the questions and the feedback and all that. Thanks, guys.